Hello, YouTube. My name is Plazukas, and this is the second ever The Ryzen podcast, a Destiny Ryzen podcast. Yes, I know. It's like a double entendre. I'm not sure if we'll have rotating guests or part of the community or if I'll just do some myself going forward. But regardless, I want to introduce to you Volk. You can go follow him on Twitch on Volk Revenant. He is a Destiny 2 player who has done various different contents in the Destiny franchise. He has also had many accolades in Destiny 2. He's obviously playing Destiny Ryzen along with all of us, and I thought he would be a great addition to kind of go back and forth and talk about the game specifically. Volk, if you want to introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, no, it's Volk Revenant on Twitch and Volk Revenant on YouTube, man.
Great. So I think where we can start is obviously we're a couple days into the second half of season 1 of Season of Daybreak. And I've made really nobody can mistake my point of view on the season when it went from season of preparation to season of Daybreak. I said it lacked identity. There was no new activities inside the game, and it's something that I've criticized. And I wanted to hear your point of view on how you feel Season of Daybreak is going. Do you think we should have gotten activity? Are you happy with the characters that we got in the content cycle that we're dealing with Expanse and Calamity Ops, or if there's anything that you want to add?
I mean, I've played gotcha games that I've been able to play for like 8 hours easily, no problem, and been able to play all the activities and get rewards. So I guess my thing is, I would love to see something with Pinnacle Energy being either we get more Pinnacle Energy or we get to do more activities that are free, kind of thing.
Right. I think that is a sentiment, regardless of seasonal content, from the entire community, is that the Pinnacle energy, the availability of the Pinnacle energy is lacking in this game. We would like different activities, different events potentially, but also just a constant resource, whether it be like other mobile games where it refreshes on a minute to hour basis and we get a certain amount throughout the day. I don't think anybody is satisfied with the 120 Pinnacle that we're getting currently. And outside of having to purchase the Foundry bundle and now the Patron bundle for 280 Pinnacle, and then whatever we have for the weekly refresh, which some of it costs Lumia, which you can get inside the game, but it's not to the extent that you can buy all of that specifically. You'd have to buy the blessings potentially in order to get enough Lumia. And then obviously it's in the silver shop too. Where do you think that would be most beneficial?
In all honesty, I really think that they instead of the keys, what would you think about doing something like the Pinnacle Energy, just a little bit more, and
So
using the keys for something completely different, like raids or something like that?
you want the keys to replace the gauntlet, being able to access the gauntlet specifically, and then having the Grandmaster master activities be Pinnacle as well?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you just want them to expand it. Do you think it would be good to have a upwards of like what 180, 240 refresh every
I
day?
honestly think that we should be able to be max daily. What do you
Okay,
think?
so 360 should be the expectation every day. I
Yeah,
think I think based on what we currently have, yes, that would make sense. I do think that the amount of stuff that we're able to actually get in these activities is percentage based, and it does do enough to essentially prevent everybody from getting full builds, even if they were to get full Pinnacle every day. Currently, I do think that this game could still survive. If you're having that many characters to level up and stuff like that, then I do think this game can suffice with the max energy or Pinnacle refresh. I don't know why that's an issue. And if not for that, then they need to add it somewhere else, either in events, which we don't get any in events. We haven't got a Pinnacle Energy event ever, as far as I can recall. Obviously, it's in the shop. You can buy it, and it's in the Foundry and Patron bundle.
yeah. I think there really should be a lot more ways to gain Pinnacle Energy. I mean, even do like, you know how we get these little rewards for speed test runs. I mean, throw some Pinnacle energy our way like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that's it. Well, because this game incentivizes leaderboards, and I know they don't want to probably add things for power for that kind of achievement, because that would isolate a lot of the player base. We did have that with the Morgans event, where they did add some of that towards the leaderboards, like 30%, but that was still cosmetic. So they might be able to incorporate a little bit of extra incentive just for participating. You participate in the event, you get on the leaderboard, you're gonna get 120 pinnacle. I think adding those to achievements specifically, not just Lumia. I think having extra pinnacle and achievements and stuff like that. But those are like just half measures to what really I think we all can agree needs to be just a refresh of that pinnacle energy. And like maybe you need to be actively on the game for a certain period of time in order to get that energy or get that pinnacle to regenerate. But I don't think anybody's happy with the pinnacle energy currently inside the game. So that's a really good point
I
that
mean,
we need to
I have
address.
friends that I have friends that are legitimately not able to, you know, uh, do the whole gotcha games because they just don't have the funds for it, right? But they really enjoy the game. They loved how it is. They loved the abilities. They love the characters, but they just can't afford it, right? So in some aspects, maybe they should try making it where it's just easier to get Pinnacle energy. I mean, it really doesn't take a lot of money away from the company.
No, well, they even said, I don't know where I found this, but recently, they said that their main source of revenue, or where they expect most of their money to come, is from people pulling on the character banners. So if that is their main source of income, then if you got the character, which is what they, I guess are expecting, then you need a way to level them up and to progress them. I will say that the weapon loadouts eventually will become so similar that you won't need to mod everything like we do currently because we have now bows being introduced to the game and stuff like that. So that will be less of an issue in the future. But I know, and I think you are also in this same category. We've all spent money, right? There are plenty of free to
Oh
play
yeah.
players right now who are really far behind in some of the progressions because they've been locked out of the silver bundle that is available inside the shop for the pinnacle of like what is it, 20, 40, 60, 80, 120 a week. And then some people don't have the extra lumia because they use that on polls, so they can't use it on the energy, not even talking about the keys themselves, which is part of the seasonal progression inside the game. And so when you mention taking those out of the game and not having seasonal progress locked towards keys, which are extremely limited, 3 times a week. And if you were to do that for a season, which lasts 2 months, that would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 keys you would have access to. And just remember, not every one of those runs you're going to get a mod from because it's only 40% drop rate. And then even if you do get a mod, it might not even be the perk that you need for that mod. And then even if you do get the perk that you need for the mod, it might not have the right modifiers like the weapon damage. There's so many variables that comes with that mod and that key system that I think it can definitely be improved. And I'm not sure if they're just being hesitant because it's early on and they just don't want everybody to get everything and they're not sure how to deal with the economy or they're waiting for new things to be added in the future. But I think season 2, hopefully they can have that revamp coming into it. And I think that's where I want to talk about the Halloween event potentially coming, or just events in general. We obviously had the most recent event. It's been talked about in many other YouTubers and Twitch streamers. The current event that you have to literally get a T6 Hell Hest, and that could cost you upwards of $600 if you get super unlucky for your polls, is like lock-in, relatively good currency, the currency that's locked behind Calamity Ops currently. And I just think the events have been lacking. We also have the spin the wheel event, which you can only get up to 10 polls a day. And there's like 60 of those polls are going to be 1,500 glimmer each. I'm just like not very happy with the events in this game. There's only been two, the Morgans event and then the beginning event where you had to do like a bounty system every day and you'd get to go to the store and buy some stuff. I thought those two events were decent, but the rest have been very lackluster and probably should never have even existed inside the game. What's your thoughts on events before we get to the Halloween one?
I would love to see them do a little bit more for the player base for events, just because like I could literally go into my draw thing, right? And I've been talking to a few different people. Like I just spoke to a dude named Bingo, and he straight up said he just dropped $500 on this character to get her T6, and I'm like, that's just kind of insane, man. Like I feel like there should be a little bit easier way for people that are invested into the game that actually want to grind but just don't have the funds for it. You know what I mean? Like the people that are actually supporting the game and actually like going above and beyond and actually uh getting their player base up. You know what I mean? Like actually staying active on the game. So in retrospects, if I were to spend 8 hours a day on this game, or even if I were able to spend 4 hours a day on this game, there should be some type of reward system for people being that active. You know what I mean? And
Uh,
for the events, I legitimately just did the Wheel of Fortune thing, and I think it was terrible. I got Glimmer 8 out of the 10 times,
I
and
got
I thought that
Glimmer.
was
I got
insane.
Glimmer 7 out of the 10 times.
Yeah, and I was just like, that's so uncool. I did this, and I don't know why you said 10 because I definitely spun it more than 10 times.
Well, you can get challenges, and those will
Yeah,
give
that's what it was. Okay, okay.
right.
So
So, but that's not going to be normal. Normally, you're
right,
locked out at 10 per day. The challenges
okay.
give you more.
Okay, so I did it 20 times and I got 3 of these, the rest were Glimmer, and 1 of these. And so I'm assuming the only ones that are going to be locked out or checkmarked is the Ingram and the Cluster.
Once you grayed out the engram, so the engram won't be available anymore.
I didn't even see the numbers. I wasn't even paying attention. Oh
Seven.
my
Do you see how many
gosh.
glimmer? So at some point in time, at the tail end of this event, your last stuff that you're gonna have to get before you get to the premium Wheel of Fortune, because I think you have to expend all of these to get to the premium Wheel of Fortune. You're gonna be pulling just glimmer on the last couple days. That's all you're gonna
That
be
is
pulling.
crazy.
And that even with the premium one, it's only giving you 2,000 glimmer. And glimmer in this game is extremely, extremely expensive. If you're upgrading a lot of your units, now if you're just staying like in a core 3, you're probably going to be fine on glimmer. And so it is necessary to get glimmer, but in even with this event, it's not even giving you the kind of glimmer that you're going to need to do what you'd want if you actually need glimmer. So
Right.
it's even worse than it looks. Obviously, the other resource, the exotic resource there is extremely generous, and we do want those inside the game. They're very limited as of right now, so that is
So
a very
limited.
welcome addition.
And I really wish they would limit it to more than just calamity ops.
Yeah,
I mean there are ways to get them, but it's just like
monthly
the
store.
calamity ops. Yeah, the monthly stores and the exchange, but I really think that if they could add them into, like getting those pinnacle energy rewards when you do times 2, maybe there's like a 2.5% chance of getting it. Like I would be okay with even that. You know what I mean? But I don't see them in any other things other than the monthly exchanges and calamity ops.
That is currently the only place that I know that you can get them specifically. So yeah, it's definitely a pain point, and it's been something that the community has talked about. And I wanted to go back to what you said about people spending all that time in this game and then feeling discouraged. Like at some point, people are just gonna not play the game because if it feels bad, or they can't get certain things, they're gonna feel like the game doesn't have a really good rewarding system. And so far, the events have not done anything to help that. So let me pivot by saying the Halloween events in Destiny 2. I don't know how many you did. I only did like 2 or 3 before I actually quit the game. And the last one, I think it was like a repeat of the previous year. So they stopped even doing any new content for the Halloween stuff. Apparently, and I'm not playing Destiny 2 right now, but apparently there's going to be a new Halloween event going on in Destiny 2. But if we look at Destiny historically, they've had holiday events, including Halloween ones. And personally, I think because they skipped on activities this season for the second part of Season of Daybreak and for the initial Season of Daybreak, that they should have devoted enough time to do a Halloween event. What do you want to see in a Halloween event, Volk?
So for Halloween event, I mean, if they did anything similar to Destiny 2, I'd honestly be okay with it. I really did enjoy going to the tower, climbing the tree, and picking the candy and all that. I thought that was kind of fun. Um, but I really think that they could learn from Destiny 2's mistakes and do it differently and make it more interactive with the player base. So this is just what I had in my head. So think about it like this. Say you're picking the candy, right? And if you got enough candy, you can use that candy to actually purchase something. So they had that something similar in Destiny 2, but I think it was with the Christmas aspect of it. And you could like use your cookies to like purchase items and stuff, but they weren't really that great of items. In this game, you can use so many different items, and like I would literally pay for like if I was able to play this and I was doing the Halloween event and I was picking up all this candy and I would use all my candy on those little fruit things. I'll tell you what they are. Hold on.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Sure.
Yeah, honestly I run out of those more than anything in this game.
I totally agree with you. Obviously, I want those items to be part of a Halloween event or any event going forward, obviously, because like you said, they're one of those things that you run out of. I run Chaos more than I did in the beginning, but when I wasn't running Chaos, I was definitely running out of them more then. I'm still running out of them now because you have to upgrade each different character's artifact section of that, and it costs fruit. And also costs fruit to do the artifact, weapon enhancements, all those things. It's a very needed resource that is in limited quantities. You don't have to give us like 100 of them in an event, but if you give us a good couple dozen, I think that would go a long way, along with other stuff in events. But I want to talk about specifically cosmetics because you said you'd pay. I would also pay. I want a Korra cosmetic ASAP, and if it's Halloween themed or something cool that has like a flavor that is similar to Halloween, that's fine as well. But let me ask you this: the decal system in this game is pretty bad, and it's very cost prohibitive. Like even if you do spend money, you're not even guaranteed to get stuff. What do you think about a Halloween event where it's both free to play friendly, where you have a certain level of things you can grind up to potentially make an outfit or get a decal that's guaranteed to be a glow so you can put it on your character and have and kind of mess around with that system, more free to play friendly, and then have options in the shop to where you can just buy things straight up, like we do currently with the outfits for Hellhest, which just came out this past week, where you can just purchase her exotic outfit. What do you want to see as far as cosmetics, or is that not really what you're interested in? You want more substantial items.
I want more substantial items. I've never been the cosmetic kind of character. That is definitely one of my buddies, Grim. He is the cosmetic genius. I mean, the dude could probably win contests if he actually entered them when it comes to D2 fashion. Uh, Other than like cosmetics, I think it would be really cool to make more animated cosmetics. I've seen what they could do with the emblems. I've seen what they could do with the banners. I think they should really implement that into like our armor and stuff like that. I think that would be really awesome to see.
Like a holographic thing that's really cool. I didn't even think about that. And that might just be a natural, progression that they're gonna do in the future. And it's like it's a thing that moves and stuff like that. I would love that. I don't know what it's called in Destiny. Obviously, in the Hellhest trailer, she was talking to Fellwinter, right? It's just like
Hmm.
a hologram, right? Like that effect. I know it's been used on warlocks for their bracers, where you have that hologram effect to it. I think that effect's amazing. I want to see that
I
more
mean,
inside the game.
take Estella for an example. She's got that
Mm.
little dragon on her, and it literally moves around and everything. Like imagine being able to have something like that for each character. I think that would be
Mm,
super cool.
you're right. Absolutely. I know it's a little bit like a pet system, but in essence, I know what you're saying as far as animations and having that added to the system. I don't think we're going to get that initially, and I'm not even asking for that. I just want more decals. I want them to maybe have better rates, and I obviously, if they're Halloween themed, like orange, black, and whatever other colors are in Halloween, I would definitely want that specifically. What do you? So you wouldn't mind an activity similar to D2's? I don't know what it's called. Lost.
Yeah, I really wouldn't. I'd prefer them to stray away from the game mode that they did. I didn't find that to be fun. I found it to be extremely repetitive. Um, I think the games that strive the most is when they just implement the currency in the game, right? And then you can use that currency by playing any event, any type of thing, and you can use that currency to do quests, side quests, whatever, uh, and exchange for cool items, maybe even rare items, stuff like that.
Do you do you is okay? So let me ask you. You're not a big cosmetic person. Totally understand that. You have other people that you know that are. Is it make or break if the Haven is not decorated with Halloween themed stuff?
It's really not a make or break for me. I'm still gonna play the game even if they don't do a Halloween event. Um, and in all honesty, I really don't see them doing it just because of the shortness of it. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, they definitely could, but with such little amount of time to prepare for it, I just don't think it would be that great.
Yeah, I mean, you make a really good point about it only probably lasting 2 weeks. There is one of the events that ends on the 23rd, so I thought it would be a nice little transition from that event to a Halloween event that would last all the way until the 9th, which would give them a little over 2 weeks to have it inside the game. I know how much companies can make from events or Halloween themed stuff. I'm not sure if this game has the population right now to, like you said, leverage that for them specifically. So maybe we don't get it. For me, it is a make or break. I want a Halloween event, especially seeing how we didn't get an activity or anything. However, I think your point about having candies or some other thing that you have to grind for, and it being in every one of the current activities that we have, might actually work. And as long as the Haven or a section of the Haven or just like one specific spot in the Haven is Halloween themed, because I'm trying to be nicer to Destiny Rise and I'm not trying to go overboard, I might be able to just be okay with that for this one. And I know you're probably the same way about Christmas. I think Christmas events are fantastic in these games as well, and I want that. But I think you're more of like a brass
Resource
tacks.
kind of guy.
Yeah, you are. So let me ask you about this. One resource that currently is being discussed in the community is a Steam client PC port. What's your thoughts on potentially this game coming to PC and having better performance and being able to unlock all of the extra bells and whistles?
Well, I can tell you right now, if they did that, they're gonna lose a lot of players from D2, which is fine to me because I rarely play the game anyways anymore. However, I think a PC port would be absolutely phenomenal. I think the game would be absolutely amazing. I have no objections to a PC port, in all honesty.
Okay. So, do you think that the reason why we don't have a PC port is because of licensing issues with Bungie and NetEase?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you got to think about the money aspect. They're thinking about how much money they're going to be losing as soon as they release the PC port. Because I can promise you, man, yeah, this is a gotcha game, but there's gonna be so many players from Destiny 2 as soon as they see a PC port. Because there's so many people that don't want to do the emulator, and I get that. Like the emulators can be sometimes jumpy if you're not on the best system, but with a PC port, you don't need to have the best PC to play.
Yeah, I think, well, for me personally, if I were to push back, I think the emulator also does that for people that have a lower end spec PC. But I'm
I
not.
mean, I play on my Lenovo Go Z1 Extreme. It's just like a handheld PC, and it's amazing. I can play Destiny 2, I can play Spider-Man, I can play whatever like game I really want. However, as soon as I play on an emulator, it crashes. I
Wow.
get maybe a couple hours on the game at most.
And I will say I'm in a bit of a elitist perspective because I have a really high end PC that I'm running the emulator on. So maybe my experience is not indicative of what everybody else is. And like you said, you can play Destiny 2 on that same computer and not have any issues.
Yeah, I've never crashed on this computer ever since playing Destiny Rising. And I have a i9 10th gen. I think it's like a 9700K or something like that. And then I have a 3080 Ti. Like I've never crashed once, and it's very smooth. But as soon as I go to the handheld PC, it just it doesn't even look the same. It's very slow loading. And it's just I don't know, man. It's just the handheld PC can't handle it.
So I think that's a really good point. So I think you're right. And in that case, I would support a PC client. If people are having issues on the low end with an emulator, and if that's not like providing benefits, then you should definitely give us a PC client, in my opinion. Which then,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
if I can play Destiny 2, which is supposed to be way more tough to play than a mobile game, you know what I mean? I should definitely be able to play this on the handheld PC, no problem.
if that's the case and it's not running and it's not able to leverage performance from lower end PCs, then there should be a PC client. And I do think that their strategy currently, and it may change because this game's going to be released in China in a matter of 6 days, has been very North American centered. And if they really want to leverage the D2 audience, they would be inclined to get a PC port as soon as possible, if they possibly can, if it's not a licensing issue. Um,
I mean, this is the only thing I see that's gonna come, or that's gonna actually be wrong with it is that as soon as it happens, like they're gonna think of the new DLCs that are coming out for Destiny 2, like Renegades. They don't want to interrupt anything like that. I can guarantee it. So I don't see them doing it anytime soon. Maybe a couple months after the year passes. That's what I would say.
and do you think that would also be the same time they would do a console port, or do you,
Honestly, I could see that happening. Yeah.
and then kind of like re-release the game essentially at that time?
I mean, it wouldn't even be a re-release. They would just allow people to like do the merge, kind of like how when Destiny 2 first came to PC.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
So you could transfer all your data from the mobile client to the PC client.
Exactly. Yep. Now, in retrospects, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that. Has there been a game that's a mobile game that you were able to transfer all your data to a Steam client or a console?
Well, normally it would just be like the same thing. So you would just log in like you normally would on Google, because you can log in from Google on your Steam still if you're using
Right.
a games client. So there probably would be that. The only issue I would potentially find if they do it, if they wait too long, is that they may not they may not want to alienate any new players coming into the Steam, so they might segment that off with a certain server that's separate from what server we could have access to, which would then make the game. It would be very like for us people that have played it, it would actually make our situation worse because the Steam server, the fresh server, essentially would be the one that most people would want to go to, in my
Right, of
opinion.
course.
And I don't know if that would be available on mobile as well. And if it were, then we probably couldn't transfer our data over there, and then we have to start fresh as well. If they can do like tied progression, that would be ideal. But like I said, I think that would alienate a lot of new players that come into the game and we're already progressed to a certain point. We could help them, but At the same time, that'd be like people that already have issues with Destiny 2 coming into it late after having all these expansions and stuff, and then like, okay, never mind. I don't want to do this.
Right.
People are too far
Two,
ahead.
two, two, two things that I wanna share. I believe that we should get more mentor tokens when we're
Mm,
actually doing the activities. I mean, 15 tokens. You have to do God knows how many strikes to actually get some decent materials, right? So I was thinking to myself, if they upped that and they also made it where you could, I actually have to grab it. It's in my inventory. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. If we were able to get more of these, the enhancement prism choice chest, and I get that we get it from, Morgans or whatever, but I would really like to see us being able to get these out of dismantling mythics as well. So yes, I get it. We get it from dismantling legendaries, but if we can get it from dismantling mythics, like a higher count, that would be phenomenal. I really don't give uh, a damn about how many mythic parameters we get, but if we can get some enhancement prism choice chest, or not chest, but yeah, the enhancement prism choice chest. If we can get those from dismantling mythics, I think that would be a great start.
I agree with you. I struggled to do the mentor stuff when the season reset and you're able to get four more, or wait, maybe it was a monthly thing. We were able to get four more of the seasonal engrams, which I wasn't even excited for in the beginning, but then because I'm into decals, I was. I tried to go into Gauntlet and do those modes, and you'd log in and you try to get into a group with a new light, and a lot of times you wouldn't get it, and then you try to exit and you get punished for exiting because there's not a person with new light. So I want them to prioritize at least the ability for me to find new lights, and I try to even look at Fireteam Finder, and it was extremely hard to find people within a certain amount of time. So increasing that would definitely incentivize more people. Hopefully more new lights would get involved in the gauntlet runs, because those do offer you 45 currently, but I think it would be helpful if they offered a little bit more. Try to get it done quicker, essentially, because I don't know how much it serves it to last as long as it's supposed to in the exchange specifically. We have somebody joining us right now, actually, regarding the mentor system inside the game. He's going to be the extra member of our podcast from time to time. His name is Black Mamba, also a Destiny Rising veteran. He's been here since day zero. I've been in many comms with him, in many groups with him. He's a great guy. He also likes to take new light characters to get those very precious mentor tokens. If you want to talk about that, Black Mamba, and you want to introduce
Hey,
yourself a
what's
little
up,
bit.
everybody? Yep. So mentor system. You guys are saying that you think the mentor system should be like more lights. I agree with you. I think the only thing that I've been finding with the mentor system and like able to earn tokens right now to find new lights, doing a lot of strikes is the only way I've been able to get just regular heroic strikes too. That's been the kind of the only way I've been able to get mentor tokens right now
Yeah,
in the game.
I've had issues with that too, where I've gone into the gauntlet, I've gone to break in, and then when I get into break in, if you have a new light, chances are 50% of the time you're not gonna be able to complete the actual gauntlet, so you're gonna have to go back out and try again, and that's gonna take extra time. And then I try to go into Tabernacles, tassels, whatever it's called,
Mhm.
and I'll load into an activity, and there's not always a new light. When there is a new light, it is successful, but it's just very sporadic and it's not very consistent. So therefore, I would go into like a regular strike, which is totally fine, but you can only get 15 per run of those, which actually takes more time than you would if you played the Gauntlet Tabernacle.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that they definitely need to make the because when people transition from new light to mentor or what is it? What do
Yep.
they have it at
It's
right
new
now? You
light
go
and then
from
junior something and then mentor. Yep.
because once they go to that junior mentor, it's no longer where you can get the tokens anymore, and that's really easy to do in the game. Is just to go from new light to junior mentor. But when you go from a lot of the people that I've seen that went from new light to junior mentor, um, still don't know how to do the raids and everything. So when you're trying to do the raids with them, you're stuck with the junior mentors, but you don't earn anything off of doing it with junior mentors. Which is that's kind of like a real big problem because, like I said, if everybody's a junior mentor now, it's not too bad to get into junior mentor.
I think you make a
Another
really,
thing,
I think you make a really good point, and maybe Volk, you might want to add something to this at the tail end of it. But maybe they should add some mentor tokens for junior mentor. I know you don't stay in that system too long. I remember it being a pretty easy checklist to get into the mentor, but at the same time, you do gain a little bit knowledge between that and then becoming a mentor itself. So if they were to increase the actual new light mentor tokens, and then maybe give us a little decrease it a little bit for the junior, that would help give us more options for those tokens. What do you think, Volk?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I did not do the mentor program just because of how little they were giving. So I just kind of stopped. And this is gonna sound bad, but like I literally stopped helping Guardians because I wanted to actually move forward and get progress to my account. You know what I mean? Like there were times that I could have helped people, but it was like, dude, I'm only getting 15 mentor tokens. Like I definitely would like to get more than that. And it kind of came to the problem where someone was literally asking for help in general chat or whatever, and I was like, yeah, no, I'll help you, no worries. And I did, but then they kept on going and kept on going. They're like, hey, let's keep on playing, let's keep on playing. I was like, well, I'm not getting anything for this at this point, so it's like I don't really want to. And like, you don't want to be rude to people, of course, and you don't want to be disrespectful, but it's like, if I'm not getting anything, then to me that's not fair.
yeah,
Totally
I
agree.
understand that
Totally
100%.
agree with you, 100%. And that's the same with events. That's the same with the Pinnacle. And now we talk about the mentor system. So there's a lot of currencies, a lot of progress in this game that can be just tweaked just a little bit. Because we all can agree that once you're in the activities and doing the loop, the gameplay loop in this game is extremely fun.
Yeah, I think that's what keeps
Oh,
bringing me back every week is just the gameplay loop.
yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Even without part two having a new activity, me going back into the Expanse with the new characters, and we can talk about the new characters now at this point with Hellhest and Rossi 11. I had a really good time. Like there's another element of this that we need to talk about regarding the Expanse. But before that, let's deal with the characters themselves. What are your feelings, Black Mamba, about the newest characters that got introduced to the game, Hellhest and Rossi 2? Did you get both of them? Have you leveled them up? Where are you at?
So right now with Hellhest, I am 65k power. I have 3 of her talent trees so far. But I will say that going through the Expanse with her, she doesn't die, but her bow is real slow on firing, so trying to get all of the keys at the end of the Expanse with her is very difficult. Just because the only thing that really does a bunch of damage on her is her ult, which is the big drone that starts shooting. Other than that, she just does not die. She's like a freaking killing tank that just won't die. It's really hard to die with her. The only thing I see so far with her is just I wish the bow. I mean, you can make
Faster
it
charge
shoot
rate,
faster. Yeah, it's just the
or
bow's
not
just
charge
real
rate, but draw
brutal.
time.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
faster draw time on the bow. It's really brutal with the bow. Her
You're talking about the
secondary,
Trinity Ghoul? Sorry to interrupt you. You're talking about the Trinity Ghoul, or you're talking about the Mythic
the
bow?
mythic. I haven't used the Trinity on her. I've been going more of the route
No, that's fine.
fusion, the linear fusion rifle on her, linear
Okay.
fusion rifle on
And you
her.
have Royal
Oh,
Contravene in your exotic slot, or you don't have that either?
yeah, I have that one in the exotic slot right now.
Okay, so and still your experience in this issue with the bow being too slow of
Yes.
a fire rate. And and how many of those bows do you have? Do you have any specific perks that you're aware of, or is it
So I have one of the thumbs up perks. I have the Yoshimoto bow on her right now, and I have insured yield, slashing readiness, and the base stat of the paranoia. They're all upgraded to 5. I don't have a lot of exotic mods on her. I have one for the bow right now on that one, but it's kind of brutal when you have a lot of mobs around you. And so I use the fusion rifle just for the damage for bosses. But I don't know if I haven't used the Trinity Goal, so I can't. I need to try the Trinity Goal real bad to see if maybe that's what it is for ad clearing instead of the bow, just because of the perks that's on the Trinity Goal itself is kind of crazy. It's almost like the Risk Runner. So I have to try that.
Interesting. That's a really good comparison as far as, with Ning Fei only wanting to use the crossbow, and yet the synergy for like something like Trinity Ghoul might actually be better for ad clear in certain aspects of the game. Now, obviously, we don't need that with the auto crossbow because it does everything anyway. Where are you at with your progression for Hellhest Volk?
I have not even started Hellhest yet, just due to the fact that I'm going to wait a little bit, and it's just for personal reasons. You know what I mean?
No,
I'll inform you of that, and we'll see where I am at tomorrow or
no,
next week
right, no
for
problem.
Hellhest.
Yeah, I wasn't sure of where you're at, but you know what? I think you represent another part of the audience as well that's extremely important. Not everyone has pulled for the new character, either because they've already pulled for Estella or they've already pulled for Gwen. And now that with Black Mamba saying how slow the bow is and it being harder for ad clearing, you might be more beneficial with someone like Tan to do some of those expanse runs instead of her specifically, just because she lacks a little bit of speed to get those extra chests as well. Um,
Oh yeah, but her powers, I've already seen what her power can do from videos, and it's phenomenal. Like
but she,
I cannot wait to actually unlock her.
I think where the misnomer is coming from specifically with her kit is that she is a support character. That's what she's classified as. In team compositions for Calamity Ops specifically, and for harder content in the future, she's going to be a fantastic option because of her movement capabilities when she has her drones out, and then you leave the circle, you get an 8-second movement boost, and then she has the heavy weapon proc
Ammo. Yep.
ammo, which
That
is,
is
yeah.
OP in itself. By
That's a
itself.
game
That's
breaker,
OP.
honestly.
But I think speaking from the Expanse perspective, I would agree with the bows feeling a little too slow. There is a way to increase that through the mod system, but specifically with the current mythic that we have, I've tried to do the rapid fire. It doesn't seem like it does any damage, and it doesn't break shields to the extent that it would if I were to pull back the trigger and wait for the proc to happen and then release it. And that's been the issue, I think, with ad clear. And you don't want to use your heavy for that either. And your drones, they don't really do that. You know, the benefit of Estella is that you can actually have her do that. And then we know Gwen is just a ad clear monster, and then obviously does well with DPS too. So from a versatility standpoint, I think those two characters still stand out in the Expanse. Unfortunately, Gwen's kind of being pushed out of the Expanse for this rotation, so she's gonna have to wait until potentially the next rotation to get
Yep.
a chance back at it. Do you have Rossi Black Mamba, or did you not pull for Rossi yet?
I have Rossi. I haven't really worked on her yet because I've been trying to focus more on
Might be a
Hell
guy.
right now.
Might be a guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because he uses the same bow or the same exotic. At least that's what I'm using on Rossi right now. I just haven't really played him too much, so I don't know a whole lot about him yet. I know that it's cool that he's arc and that you have the rapid fire and piercing. So I think eventually, once I do level him up, he's gonna be a character that's used a lot, just kind of like Umeko.
Okay, that's fair. And you have your Mahar Murray maxed out, is that right? Or is it close?
Yes, so I have it to the third catalyst on the end, and then I have everything max besides two of the littler catalysts, whatever you call them.
Yeah, and I've played Rossi specifically. I have him at 67,000, and I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Okay, this is a little bit of a side tangent for the podcast. I'm an Ikora main, right? I haven't played much Ikora this past season. I've kind of let her just take a step back for a minute. Rossi, maybe my new favorite character in the game. But I will say this: he does not synergize well as Ning Fei with the crossbow. But we both know the crossbow is extremely good anyway, regardless of the synergy that Ning Fei has with it. I do think his bow, like you said, the fact that he's precision and rapid fire really just unlocks his kit, and he's able to do some really cool things. He also has an ability that traps people inside it, and they can't shoot you if they're trapped inside it. So if you have like a elite enemy, like one of those big cabal colossuses, and you block him with that shield, he can't shoot his stuff. The servitors, they can't shoot their stuff at you for a certain amount of damage. It's really, really good and effective at crowd control. It deals with large groups of people as well. And then his ultimate is like this huge square shield that takes like it's better than I think Shoulder's bubble because it literally protects all projectiles like Shoulder does. But then you can either proc it, or if it's still alive at the tail end of its summons, it'll actually go through the whole entire map, so you can kind of position it, and it'll actually hurt people as it dissipates. It's really cool. Like his character is a defensive character, so he's not going to produce like insane levels of damage. But if you have him on a team, he's really good. And I think this, and I'm not trying to take all the wind out of this and not let you guys speak. I think if you were to sum these two characters up, they're really, really good team-based characters specifically.
100%. I think Hellhest is going to be one of the ones that people want every time from everything, just because of the exotic heavy drop that she, or the not the exotic heavy drop, just the heavy drop that she can do to give her team heavy. And I think having her on your team eventually in the future, when people start getting her maxed or have multiple copies of her, and she starts dropping like heavy, I think she's going to be one of the ones that does the fastest with whatever kind of team you're putting around her, just because of that fact.
All right, so let me pivot this by saying I think those two characters are team-based. But you know who isn't and is the selfish, most greediest character inside the game? Ning Fei.
Ooh.
And guess who tried to shadow nerf him? NetEase. Do you guys know about the Expanse conspiracy theories, which are not actually conspiracy theories? And before you say something, let me just present this to the podcast so that everybody can get caught up on this specific thing. And I'll read it to everybody here. Dear Light Bearers, following this week's update, we discovered some unexpected bugs had appeared. We sincerely apologize for the impact these issues have had on your experience. As of right now, our team has already deployed a hotfix to address the following issues. These changes have already taken effect in-game. The Expanse echoes. A designer configuration error resulted in incorrect content being present for stages 29 and 30, resulted in an unintended experience for certain characters. We've changed the corresponding stages content. Lightbearers now experience the fixed stages launching if you relaunch it from stages 21 to 30. The Expanse echoes. The completion time requirement for all changes have been increased by 30 seconds. And then there's other things here that they've basically acknowledged. We get compensation inside the game, and I think this is where I want to bring you both in. We've known that Ning Fei was going to be an issue. The good news is Hellhest did release and had a better kit than I expected, and she kind of is power creeping other characters. So maybe they don't need to nerf someone like Ning Fei, although they kind of did for like a day. And if you know anything about mobile games, the first 24 hours, 48 hours is usually when most people pull for the new character and they make a lot of their money. And almost as if it was done on purpose, they're going to blame it on some designer. But what do you guys think about this shadow nerf that potentially affected Ning Fei and people trying to get through the Expanse with him?
I think it was good because everybody plays Ning Fei. Ning Fei makes everything. Having a Ning Fei with whatever you're doing right now in the game makes it really easy. Um, so I mean, it's good and bad. So like, if you're trying to just rush through everything, get everything real quick, just like the Expanse, it's good, but sometimes that can get real boring. Um, Ning Fei, like I said, he's just crazy, a crazy character, just a freaking beast of a character. Everybody really uses him though, and I think um, nerfing him just makes people have to use something else or find something different way. If he's not as good, then they're gonna have to figure out something else.
So you
So
you you support the shadow nerf?
yes,
Oh,
100%.
interesting. I didn't realize that take was going to be presented here. What about you, Volk? Are you in favor of a shadow nerf and not being public about it because Ning
So
Fei is a broken POS, or
So
are
this
you?
this is how I see it, right? I don't think that they should be allowed to nerf anything that we have paid for, and this is just my hot take on it. You spend money, you spend Lumia Leave, you spend Pinnacle Energy, you spend your hard-earned money, and then they go ahead and nerf these characters. If they did that in Raid Shadow Legends to a crazy character, like that'd be the end of the game. There would be so many people that would just drop off of that game. And that game, that player base is absolutely huge. So when it comes down to it, yeah, I definitely don't support that nerf. I don't think they should be nerfing characters. I think they should be maybe nerfing weapons. Never characters in gacha games.
And they did nerf the Maher Murray for precision damage specifically. So I think you'd be in favor of that change, correct?
Yeah, that would be okay because I saw what that thing could do. That thing was insane. However, they should never nerf characters, especially if we have to pay for them.
I didn't think I would be disagreeing with Black Mamba, but I don't condone or want like I'm not a Ning Fei supporter. I'm leveling Ning Fei only because I feel like it's a necessity to do so at this point. But I have not really played him in any content, and I'm not very good with him, by the way. Anything they do to that character, I really could care less, even though I've invested resources into him now. I just think that if they're going to do something like that, they need to be very public about it. And to your point, Volk, maybe they shouldn't. And Hellhest is kind of the answer to it, but then we have to deal with power creep as well. So we understand that if they're not going to nerf these characters, then power creep's going to have to be an aspect of this game for people to be incentivized to pull on new characters. What's your feelings about power creep, Volk?
Give me a definition of power creep. So like
So
I kind of get it, but
right, it's essentially where any new character that's going to get released, and we can take Hellhest in this specific case. She's going to have basically everything that another character has, but they're going to give her extra stuff that's just going to make her an easy addition to any party. So she got
okay,
ammo, heavy ammo, which is something that no other character has. That's a kind of a power creep. She has also movement speed, which is very similar to what Ning Fei does. So she does what he does, not necessarily better, but the fact that she has it competes with him, which is a form of power creep. So those kind of are like aspects of the power creep
okay, I
system
get
in the
that.
game. Mm.
I honestly don't really like the power creep too much. I think that each character should definitely be individually amazing. I mean, just like if you've ever seen like the live action, I know this doesn't sound silly, but like if you've ever seen the live action stuff with Ikora and Zavala and Cade Six and just like the Vanguards, but like if you've ever seen what they do individually, they all look freaking amazing. They look super cool, right? But when it comes down to the game and you actually go inside the game and you're playing it, it's different. Like Thunder Crash was like the most heavily DPS thing in Destiny 2 for a long time. But then it was Golden Gun with Celestial Nighthawk. I'd really like to get away from stuff like that, and I would like to be able to really abuse. Not I shouldn't say abuse, but really use those abilities like they're supposed to be used. I mean, we leveled them up all the way to 18. You know what I mean? Like I want to be able to use them like that.
Hmm.
Where do you stand on? I mean, obviously, and you might want to retract it or expand upon your thoughts on the Shadow Nerf situation, Black Mamba, because I don't want to accuse you of anything. I'm not saying it's bad. Your take or what do you think about power creep?
Um, I don't really have a take too much on it because no matter what, it was like almost when every character comes out, that's kind of how it is in Destiny Rising. Because first we got Gwen, and Gwen was a powerhouse, and then we
Yeah.
got Estella, and when Estella came out, she was a big powerhouse, and then we have Hell right now. So it seems like every time a character comes out, there's always going to be that power creep, just because they have to make it better to try to entice you. I mean, it is a gotcha, so they try to make it enticing for you to try to get the character,
Sure.
and that's kind of one of the ways they do it is with power creep. Because it's just like Vulcan said, she's crazy right now. Hell is crazy, and but like the thing I like about Destiny Rising is there's offense characters, there's your support characters, your defensive characters, so they all have their place. I will say I'll go back on the Ning Fei. I will say that they should have said that they were going to nerf, or to maybe do like a poll kind of, because there was a big game called RuneScape a long time ago that they were just doing changes, and I think with this game, or a lot of different games in general, could do what that game does, and instead of making the changes, they have the community vote for it, and if the community doesn't vote on it, they don't touch it at all. So I mean, that point I do get of it a little bit, but to touch on another thing like Vulcan was saying, it's like playing all the characters and then seeing all the characters, just like he was saying with D2 with Cade and everybody, and seeing them real crazy cool. I think all the characters, I think this is what this game does better than Destiny, is all the characters have their own story, have their own purpose, and also can be used. So, perfect example of that this week is in the Grandmaster activities. You can only use certain characters, like Ning Fei's not even in it. You only can use Hellhest, Meko, Rossi, Atal, and Ikora this week. So it's pretty much they from the feeling that I get from the game is they want you to play everybody. Even though they have the gotcha system, they have the new characters in, they really want you to play everybody, put stuff into everybody, and that's just kind of what I get, the take I get from it, playing so far.
I think that's a really good compromised position when you talk about uh, the shadow nerf, and then there needing to be a poll to ask the community um, for potential adjustments to the game balance for everybody specifically, right? Most of the community probably doesn't want any kind of nerf to Ningfei because they've already built him. They know he is essentially a character that can clear all content. So I can already kind of tell you that the poll is going to be lopsided in favor of not doing anything to Ningfei. But that's an assumption. I wouldn't know until they actually did one. Now they have been doing polls, and I'll be honest with you, I don't like them. I hope that other people are taking them more seriously than I did. I did do them at the end because I needed the Lumia for certain things. Did you guys take your polls seriously, or did you guys kind of just
For Estella, I did
okay?
not so much everyone else. I only got one Gwyn. My plan is to get at least one of everything, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get T6 everything. I ain't no whale, so.
Yeah, even if you were willing to get T6 everything, man, you gotta. It's freaking. I don't have a Stella to T6. I don't think I'll ever have Hell to T6.
You
When I
definitely want to
have
sell a
T6, but
T6. I mean, if you look at like the talent tree and you see something that you definitely want, like you're gonna T6 it. You know, like that's what it comes down to. Like I saw the talent tree for Estella, I saw what her T6 ability is, and I was like, I need that. I need that in my life.
so the problem with T6ing right now, and I think that's why a lot of people have Gwen T6, is when the Destiny first Rising first released, they had them crates that you could get, which actually made it not so bad of a deal to pull. But if you're straight trying to pull on T6 stuff right now, and you're not getting lucky and getting a pull like every 20 to 30 pulls, it's like it's crazy. It is crazy. So they're right now in the store. I don't know what it's like being coming from the new light experience, which I'm sure they have, because right now it'd be easy for a new light or somebody new to the game to come in and do what we did when we T6'd Gwen, just because you have the boats and everything in the crates, so it's easier to do the T6 with the current character on the banner. But if you've been playing the game right now, there's not really any way to get the boats besides getting stacking a ton of leaves. So yeah, it's really hard to do T6 stuff right now to try to get characters T6 if you've been playing. Really, really hard.
I think you make a good point, and this could be like a further expansion of the Lumia Pinnacle system. Um, do you think that these boats, that these bundles, should refresh every season?
Yes. Yep.
Absolutely.
I
Okay.
think that they've been really slacking on that part because people that have been playing from the beginning, that's been since the beginning of Destiny Rising. If you've already bought the crates, the bundle crates, you can't buy them no more. They haven't refreshed. They've refreshed almost everything besides those. So
That's
right
a,
now, trying to get boats is to do your draws. You're using all your Lumia leaves right now to try to do that. And if you've already used a bunch of Lumia leaves, and then you have to do all your triumphs and everything to get more, and then the character quest. But even then, it's still kind of crazy. It's especially how they did it. I would say, especially how they did it this time around, because of Hellhest and how they put specifically to where you have to do the 240 draws and then max her out, and then you get all the rewards from it. That's what's like. It's really good that they did that, but at the same time, it's really bad because there's not a way to earn boats like we did for Gwen, for example. If they did that and put it in right now, that would be perfect because then it wouldn't be so much of a struggle trying to get a T6 hell, and then you would still get all the rewards without having to drop tons of money into the game if you've been playing since the beginning.
I think that's perfectly explained. Do you have anything to add to that, Volk?
I don't, man. That was great.
All right, so I think we're going to come to the end of the podcast. We're on the tail end. We've obviously only had, well, 2 days into part two. We have 26, 7, 8 more days left for this season. What are your hopes and dreams for the future of Destiny Rising? You don't have to go like too far in the future. You can even just mention like what your expectations are for season two for Destiny Rising to close out the podcast today.
Um, I want to see maybe some more casual stuff added in besides sparrow racing and the duels and the fishing, which I think would be great if they could do something like that. Just kind of add more casualness to it, especially if they're going to keep the pinnacle the way it kind of is. Um, and then I hope to see some more, not even just exotic weapons, weapons in general come into the game. So like the bow right now for the new character Hell. I'm hoping that they add more bows in. Just different options so that way you can play around with different stuff.
All right. What about you, Volk?
So, I got three things. Main thing is the Pinnacle energy. I would love to see a more enhanced version of the Pinnacle energy, as in, like, I'm sorry, not enhanced version of the Pinnacle energy. What I meant to say was I would like to see more drops for Pinnacle energy. As in there be more opportunities, more events that we would be able to do for that said Pinnacle energy. And I believe that, and this I didn't mention this, but I do want to point this out. I really think that we should be able to hold on to our Pinnacle energy. Our daily We should get daily logins for Pinnacle energy. And I don't believe they do that right now. Correct?
No,
We do not know.
Yeah.
unless you get the Pandora's
Yeah,
deal,
Which
and
which
is
is
an
that's
extra,
paid. So
yep,
so I
twelve
think that
dollars a
we
month.
should
$12 a month.
so I think if they implemented something how Raid has it, where how many days you play, you can get certain characters, you can get certain uh resources, stuff like that. Like if I showed you my Raid Shadow Legends account, you would see 271 plus days, right? and it would show all the daily logins. It would show you all the stuff that you get. I think if they implemented something like that, it would be really cool because then they can implement the characters, they can implement the resources, and then they can implement new stuff that they want to come out with. So that's for the Pinnacle Energy aspect of it and the daily logins. I really would love to see some more controller support on the side of things, and I would love to see a little bit more PvP events. I think that would be really cool.
I think for me specifically, I need an activity. I need a Halloween activity, so that's a little bit before I'm kind of cheating a little bit. Sorry, I need a Halloween activity. But if I don't get a Halloween activity, I need a new activity in season 2. I need something that actually makes it feel like another season in Destiny Horizon.
Right.
The transition between season of preparation and season of daybreak was non-existent, and I don't want that to happen for season 2. So for me, I want that specifically. Obviously, I want them to add a new PvP map. I want them to add new strikes. I want a lot of things in season 2. Probably won't get them, but hopefully through community feedback and just content and stuff like that, we can encourage them. And at the very least, they need to be open and have a conversation with us in the
I
future.
I think they should implement something like a 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4 system, or bring trials into this game. That would be sick, I think. Some type of trials, not exactly like Destiny 2, but
Sure.
something similar to trials where you can get that crazy loot at the lighthouse. I think that would be super cool and super sick if they actually implemented something like that.
I totally agree. And thank you for everybody. Black Mamba, thank you for joining me. Do you have any place you want to plug, your YouTube channel or anything, or are you good?
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
Okay, and then Volk can
Stay
be.
tuned.
That's fine. And Volk, you can be found at Volk Revenant on Twitch. Follow him there. Anything else to just say goodbye?
Yeah, no, it's Volk Revenant on Twitch and Volk Revenant on YouTube, man. And you guys have a splendid day.
You too.
You too. All right. That's good.